All right, welcome back. Right after I made that recent video about the brightest outdoor battery-powered video lights, I get a comment from somebody who told me about a light I didn't even know about, and I got it, and it's so cool. That's why I'm making this video specifically about that light. First of all, thank you so much, Benham Maghadam, for leaving that comment. This is what the internet is about. That's why it's so great. People can share what they know. They can, teach each other about stuff, make each other aware of things, and share the knowledge, and that's what's so cool. So thank you again, Benham, for sharing that. I got the light, so if you don't have it yet, I'll tell you all about it, and everybody else too. So starting off with the lights that I already had originally, and you already, just real quick recap, the Aputure 120D Mark II is the hot new thing that everybody's talking about. It's the daylight balanced, really cool, bright, but expensive light. By Aputure. The Godox SLB60, the 60 watt light, I like it, but it's got fan noise. Then there's the Stella 8000. This is the most portable of all the lights, but it's expensive. It's like $1,500. And then there's the Lupo Super Panel up there, which is like $1,000. So those are the ones that I found were the best ones, that were portable, that were really bright, really good color, and they worked really well. Well, something came out just recently, and it's taking the world by storm, and here it is. Ready? There it is. That's the light. This is it. This is a Nanlite Forza 60. This thing, Forza, sounds like an Italian sports car, and it performs like an Italian sports car. Now look at the size difference here between that's the Stella, and that's the Forza. This is amazing. I mean, this is an amazing light, and get this. This puts out as much light as the Aputure 120D Mark II. This thing is so bright, it's mind-blowing, and it's portable, and it's lightweight, and it's cheap, and anybody can get it. It's smaller than the Godox. I mean, look at that. Look at the size difference between that and this and that and those. It's that tiny little thing. So here's the configuration that it comes with when it's battery powered. This comes off, and as you can see, it has a battery option that connects to the light. And what's really cool about it is it uses these tiny little Sony NP batteries. It just takes two of these little tiny batteries to power it, and it's just as bright as the 120D Mark II. It is amazing. It comes with this amazing reflector, and when I say amazing, it's been engineered so it can reflect the maximum amount of light. I'm going to give you the light readings in a minute, but this is the basic setup. You can power it off the wall, and you can power it with battery power. It also comes with a fresnel, which intensifies the light, and it comes with barn doors. So here's the fresnel and barn doors. This is a mini Hollywood spotlight right here. And it's daylight balanced, it's really high CRI. In other words, the color is really well balanced. You can focus the spot or make it wide with the fresnel, and it's battery powered. This thing here puts out as much light as this. Now, look at the difference. This is the 120D Mark II fresnel. This is the Forza fresnel. This is huge, it's heavy. This is small and light. Now, but this thing is an amazing thing to have. If you're going to have a 120 Mark II, you definitely should get a fresnel. It almost doubles the light. It really intensifies it. So how do these compare? Now, real quick, by the way, before I forget, something I realized that I didn't even think about in the last video was you can take the fresnel from the 120D Mark II, because it's Bowen's mount, and put it on the Godox SLB60. Now you've just doubled the amount of light coming out of the Godox, and this thing is a lot cheaper than this. And I tried it, and so the light, it's just, it really turns this Godox into a whole nother machine. You can take the Aputure fresnel and put it on the Godox. Now, how do these things compare? This is where it gets kind of interesting, because by itself, as reflectors go, just basic reflectors without the fresnels, this thing is pretty much the brightest of the bunch. It is amazing, because that reflector works amazing. The interesting thing is, and this kind of was, I scratched my head for a minute there, the Forza with a fresnel on the wide setting, which is the normal setting, is less bright than when you're using just the reflector. When you put it on the spot setting, you dial it all the way out to spot, and you get a tiny little spot of light, then it is brighter. But the spot of light is so small, you're not going to use it very often. Normally when you use the lights just to light up a person's face or something, you're going to have it mainly on wide or semi-wide, in which case it's not even as bright as when you're using a reflector. So you really don't need the Forza fresnel. I don't know why, it's just weird, because fresnel is usually double the amount of light. But this reflector is so well engineered that, and it's lightweight and it's cheap and it comes with it, that you don't even need, I mean, this is all you need. And it's really lightweight, it really lightens the load, and you don't, so you really don't need the Forza fresnel. If you want to play with it, you can. The Stella, which is the same size as the Forza, here's what I like about the Stella, and I know it's more expensive. It's the same size as the Forza. This is the fresnel that the Stella comes with. I didn't mention this in the last video, but it has a glass fresnel now, which intensifies the light even more than the silicone. It just snaps right on, and this is it. The thing I like about the Stella is this thing is everything. The battery's included. This is the, now look at the difference here between, this has this contraption with the batteries, and it's just this weird contraption. This thing, it's the battery, it's the fresnel, it's everything. This is the whole unit. This thing, it's kind of weird. Then you have to still put the, so as far as size difference goes, this one, the Stella, beats the Forza, but this is more, the Forza is more lightweight. It's just as bright or even brighter under certain situations, and it's cheaper. You can buy like 3 or 4 of these things for one of these. So this is what I'm going to do. This is just me. I'm going to take this handle off this silly battery thing, cut off everything, and just stick the battery holder right on the side of the unit here, so it's just one unit, which is how it should be. See, that's what I like about the Godox and the Stella. The battery is included. It's part of this thing. That's the battery right there. Here's the battery right there. This has the battery separate, and that bothers me. All right, so which one's the brightest of all from top to bottom? And by the way, I updated the chart that you can download. The link is below. That has the Forza on it now, so you can compare it to other for the price and the size, the weight, the brightness of the light, and everything like that. So anyway, the brightest of all from top to bottom is, first of all, the 120D Mark II with the fresnel. This is the brightest of all. This is the brightest with the fresnel. They engineered the fresnel on this thing to really double the amount of light. It's just, it's mind-blowing. But it's big and it's heavy and it's just awkward and it's bulky, and then you got this awkward, heavy V-mount contraption that goes with it. So this is not a very practical, lightweight, portable light. But that's the brightest one with the fresnel. The second one that's the brightest, and this has just excited me, made me kind of happy, was taking the fresnel off of this and put it on the Godox. That's the second brightest one of all of these. That's really cool, because the Godox is really cheap. It's only like 300 bucks. This fresnel is only 120. The Godox has the battery included with it, so it's just the cheapest of all. It just has some fan noise, which bothers me. Okay, the third brightest of all is the Stella 8K with the fresnel that it comes with. The Stella 8K, 8000 lumen, with the glass fresnel that comes with it. That's the third brightest one. The fourth brightest one is the Forza Non with the reflector. Not with the fresnel, with the reflector, which is great because it comes with the reflector and the reflector doesn't weigh anything. That's the fourth brightest one. The fifth brightest one, now this is another question that came up. What about the fan noise? Can you turn the fan off on this thing? Yes, you can turn the fans lower or off. I'll get to that in a minute. The Stella, when you lower it to 5,000 lumen from 8,000 lumen, the fan goes really quiet, so you can do audio then. So that is the fifth brightest one. The sixth brightest one is when you turn the fan off on the Forza. You completely turn it off, but it cuts the brightness of the light down to half, but it's still very bright. So with the fan off, the Forza at 100% max power is the sixth brightest one. All right, the seventh one is the Godox with the reflector on it. That's the one. The one below that is the Forza with the fresnel. The Forza with the fresnel is not as bright as the Forza with the reflector. I mean, on the wide setting, not the little tiny spot, you know, like taking a magnifying glass and having a little pin dot of light. All right, then the one after that is the 120D Mark II with the reflector. I mean, it's still really bright, whatever, but okay. And then the one after that is the Forza with the fresnel with the fan off. Why would you want to do that? It's kind of silly. And then the last one is the Stella with nothing on it and the set down to 5,000 lumen. We're not talking a lot of difference here in light. I'm talking about little tiny bits. And you can get two of these Forzas for the price of one of these other ones, other than the Godox, which is really cheap too. So let's talk about price. The Forza by itself, just this thing, plug it in the wall, 110 volts, is $290. Comes with a reflector. If you want the fresnel, that's another $100. If you want the battery-powered gizmo, that's another $50. So if you want the fresnel and the battery and everything, the Forza Nanlite 60 is $440 with all of that. The Godox SLB60 is only $300. It comes with its own battery. You don't have to buy extra batteries. And if you want the Aputure fresnel on the Godox is still only $420. So the Godox with the Aputure fresnel is cheaper than the Nanlite, but they're very comparable lights. Then the 120D Mark II by itself, just the light, is $750. So you could buy two of these things for one of these. Then the fresnel, that's $120, which brings the price of the 120D Mark II up to $870. Then we get up to the Stella. Smallest little thing, the battery built in, $1,500. This takes it out of the range of most people. If you want the fresnel on there, that's another $80. So that takes it to $1,580, almost $1,600. But it's such, I mean, it's amazing. It's great. It is heavy. This thing is really, really heavy. So it is heavier, even though it's a little bit smaller, it's a lot heavier than this thing with the two little Sony batteries on there. Okay, and then last of all, we have the Lupo Super Panel, which is $1,100. I'm not talking too much about it because it's not like, it's a big flat thing, just the shape and size. It's just as bright as all of these, but I mean, it's just big and flat, so it's like a different form factor than these. So I'm talking more about these little cylindrical things. The Nanlite is about the same size as a Dedolite Turbo 7. Yeah, Turbo 7 is actually a little bit brighter than the Nanlite. Now some of you are going to go, wait a minute, where did that come from? Why didn't you tell us about that? Well, the main reason nobody talks about these is because, well, first of all, there's $1,600 out of the box just for plugging in the wall. If you want to battery power them, they're over $2,000. So most people aren't going to deal with these. These are mainly designed for like this, where you have gobos and you just have little tiny spots of light, or you want to put a design on the background or something like that. I mean, they actually do pretty much the same thing. They're just more expensive and they don't come battery powered. It's kind of a really expensive deal to make these battery powered. But anyway, I just wanted to point out that the Forza is the same. Come on, here we go. It's almost the same size as a Dito, but you could buy 5 of these things for the price of one of these. That's why I don't talk about it. I've got a couple of these. They're great, but and the batteries are a big issue. So NP batteries that's the way to go. So that's why I like this thing. Plus the price, obviously. Now you can put soft boxes on all of these. These 3 are Stellas. All you need is a little adapter ring that adapts the Stella to a Pro Photo, which then can go onto a Bowens mount. So anything that's Pro Photo or Bowens mount, you can stick the Stellas on, or the Godox, that's a Bowens mount. The 120D Mark II, that's a Bowens mount. So anything that's a Bowens mount softbox, you can put on there. The Nanlite doesn't do Bowens mount because it's so small. The Bowens mount ring is so much bigger than the Nanlite. It's so much bigger than this. So it has its own size of thing. And this is, it comes with its own softbox also. This is a Nanlite softbox. The Nanlite softbox comes in a bag. It's like this. It's got its, and you have to open it up. And you have to individually, one by one, click the arms in place. Speaking of containers, the Nanlite comes in this really cool container, and it's really high quality, and it shows you this is like very cool just to get the box that it comes in. Okay, so I'm back outside now. I recreated this same lighting setup that I did in the other video where I tested all the battery powered outdoor lights. This is what it looks like without the lights on. As you can see, my face is in shade. And this is what it looks like with the lights on. I'm using two Forza 60s right now, and as you can see, it can totally fill in the shadows beautifully. And the thing I like about these lights is they're so small, they're so lightweight. They use the little tiny NP batteries. They use those big heavy V-mount batteries. So for when you're outside, when you're traveling, when you're carrying things outdoors, these are really small and lightweight, and they're just really good for hiking stuff out in the middle of nowhere. And they're battery powered, which I really like. There is a D-tap cable available if you want to attach a big heavy V-mount battery for long running jobs. So that's it. I just wanted to introduce you to my noodle friend here, the Nanlite Forza 60. It's just so cool. And it has little effects too. You can do like lightning or strobe lights or television flicker or things like that. Anyway, so that's it. I just thought this thing is so cheap. Like 300 bucks, same price as the Godox, but smaller, more lightweight, and just easier to carry around. I love it. I love it. I got 3 of them. Thank you again, Benham, for telling me about this. When I like something, I jump right on it. So I got 3 more of them. Sharing this stuff with you guys. I hope maybe inspired you, told you I try to tell you what's out there, give you the choices. So subscribe, stay tuned. I'll see you in the next video. Over and out, bye.